I'm David Scandura.
I'm Justice Burkett.
And today we're here to find out, is Thank You for Smoking the greatest movie ever made?
Perhaps Vermont cheddar should come with a skull and crossbones.
The great state of Vermont will not apologize for its cheese.
Welcome to The Greatest Movie Ever Made, the show where we watch a movie and tell you if it's the greatest movie ever made.
Had a little German flair there for a second.
Don't know what that was. A movie that is so thoroughly entertaining and compelling that while you're watching it, it's the only thing that matters in the world and maybe makes you want to have a cigarette.
Yeah, well, what doesn't? What about the world right now doesn't make one want to have a cigarette?
Might as
You've been watching the fucking news.
Might as well light one up. I'm David Scandura, joined as always by my co-host, Justice Burkett.
Yes. Yeah, it is funny how oddly timely this movie feels considering it came out 20 years ago. Watching this movie, I was like, wow, it's crazy that Peter Thiel and Elon Musk executive produced this movie because it seems to be about them in a negative way.
Yeah, that credit really just kicks you in the balls the opening titles.
The Elon Musk one, I was like, okay, maybe I remember hearing that he had something to do with this movie, actually. Like I wasn't expecting it going in, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, right. The Peter Thiel one, I was like, pardon me? And yeah, it is crazy because it seems like from my perspective, this movie is sort of an indictment of guys like them. So it's interesting that they had financial stake in this movie.
Yeah, it is interesting, and
yeah.
I think that maybe plays into some of the issues that I had with this movie while watching it this time.
Yeah, probably me too.
Which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Before we talk about today's film, how are you doing? Anything to recommend?
Yeah.
The usual.
The usual. You know how we do it around here.
Are you going to complain about your time management skills again?
No. We did record our last week's episode only like a few days ago, so I don't have a ton to fill you in on.
Okay.
But yeah, so mostly more of the same. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any recommendations too, but I haven't really engaged with that much stuff other than like I'm still watching The Pit, obviously. Yeah, no, I don't know. I had a fun time watching Chud the other day. But that's like
as you should.
I'm not like telling people that to drop whatever they're doing to watch Chud.
I think they should drop everything they're doing and watch Chud.
Probably.
It's the only movie about cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Yes, although that's not actually what that stands for. It's a twist in the movie that Chud doesn't stand for the thing they tell you Chud stands for. It's like a third act twist where they're like, you thought Chud was cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, but actually it's a secret second thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like something hazardous urban disposal or whatever, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, spoilers for Chud.
It's been a while since I've seen Chud.
Yeah.
And Chud 2, Bud the Chud, is not about a Chud. It's just called Chud 2.
It's right, yeah.
From what I've heard. I've not seen it, though.
Yeah. From my understanding, it's like, in that one, the Chuds are more just like conventional kind of zombies. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the movie Chud, they're
Chuds.
Silly rubber monsters, yes, with glowing eyes. I like that when you kill a Chud, it's the lamps in its mask just turn off. And it's not like they like really fade out. They just kind of, someone flips a switch and their eyes turn off.
Chud occupies a specific lane that like certain horror movies and then like also low budget crime movies occupy, which is shitty New York.
Yeah.
Weirdly, it's like, yeah, Martin Scorsese and the Chud movies are both set in like crappy New York City.
Yeah,
like early Scorsese, like Mean Streets and Taxi Driver.
Yeah, Basket Case is also sort of in that lane.
Basket Case for sure.
Yeah, where it's just like, oh, like New York just used to be a horror movie set.
Steven Seagal's Out for Justice.
Yeah,
he's
out
a little
for
bit
me.
in New York.
That's bad news for me.
That's funny. That's your name.
Yeah, I think I could take it.
You could make that joke.
I could probably take Steven Seagal. At current Steven Seagal. I bet I could beat his ass.
I think you could.
This is a public challenge to Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal, if you hear this podcast, I will fight you. Get in our DMs, email us, thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com. We'll figure out a time and place, and I will throw down with you. I'm just not flying to North Korea to do it. You got to meet me where I'm at. You got more money than me, so you have to come to me, but I will fight you.
Yeah, he's got money to pump out direct-to-video action movies every year.
Yeah.
I need to watch those. I've been watching old Seagal. I need to watch some new Seagal.
Do you need to do that?
I kind of think so. Because he's like in his 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's still like the best special forces guy.
Right.
And he's fat and 60 years old. And all the guys on the team are fat and 60 years old.
Yeah.
Like old retired wrestlers.
Yeah.
So then the commanding officers always are like 80-year-old dudes.
Right. It's like, let's dust off some fucking corpse. Get whoever in here. Get some C-tier guy who was in like a fucking, a Chuck Norris movie one time. Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
The movie I have to recommend is Steven Seagal's On Deadly Ground.
I've heard good things.
It's Steven Seagal's only directorial effort.
Yes.
And it is 100 minutes of just pure, unabashed celebrity ego and self-aggrandizing bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of beautiful.
Hell yeah.
He's
just watching him suck his own dick for 90 minutes.
Really, it really is. He's a fixer for the oil industry, and then learns that the Michael Caine, the oil CEO he was working for, whose accent is somewhere between Texan and British.
I was going to say this must be BP if it's Michael Caine, but it's an American oil company, and Michael Caine is trying to rein it in, is what you're telling me? He's trying to not sound English?
I don't know how much he's trying. I don't know how successful he is.
Steven Seagal?
Yeah.
I'm a Texas oil baron.
Yeah, exactly. And it's set in Alaska, and so the guy blows up his own oil. He causes his own environmental disaster. He's building a giant oil refinery that they talk about like it's the Death Star.
Right.
And
cool.
Steven Seagal goes on a spirit journey with the local indigenous population. We have Joan Chen, famously Chinese actress from Twin Peaks, playing an Inuit.
That's very offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that sucks, she's probably better in that movie than she is in both seasons of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I mean,
she's like actually giving a pretty good performance.
Yeah. No one really cared that much when Josie Packard turned into a doorknob in that show. It's like, well, she's been giving a wooden performance the whole time, so it only makes sense that she is now actually made of lumber.
Yeah. And she's still in that doorknob in The Return.
Yep.
We don't know what happened.
Yep.
She just got on the rowboat with all the other characters that sailed off the island.
Yeah. It's David Lynch lost interest.
Yeah,
if you can believe it.
What else happened? There's so many character actors in that movie. Billy Bob Thornton is credited, and then you don't see him for like 90 minutes.
I love when that happens.
And then he's just a guy on Arlie Ermey's like mercenary squad that's hunting down. He has like 3 lines, and you could cut him out of the movie.
Great.
And the climax of the movie, after Steven Seagal murders like 50 people and blows up an oil refinery without causing an oil spill. They're specifically like, they go like beep boop, beep boop, boop. Okay, we hacked the oil refinery, so blowing it up doesn't cause an oil spill.
We're going to send the oil back into the ground where it came from.
Then he gives a 5-minute speech about how we need to save the environment.
Hell yeah.
At the climax of the film.
You know what? I wish we still had that Steven Seagal. The Steven Seagal who was like doing a huge ego-driven passion project where ultimately the message was, I need to save the planet. Like, not we need to save the planet. I, Steven Seagal, need to save the planet.
Apparently that was also the crux of his Saturday Night Live appearance.
Yeah.
His infamous Saturday Night Live appearance where he just did a sketch that's like him beating up a bunch of guys in a boardroom for 7 minutes and then being like, this is what happens when you poison the environment. And they were like, this is Saturday Night Live?
There's supposed to be a joke in here somewhere.
This is a comedy show?
Climate change isn't a laughing matter. There's nothing funny about the hole in the ozone layer.
But the sexual assault allegations against me totally are.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Yeah, nothing to unpack there at all. Just a really normal guy.
We're doing a theme month next month.
Yeah.
It would be wild if I dropped a Seagal month.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. That might ruin my life. I'm heading into what is shaping up to be an extremely busy March. If in my only free time I have to watch Steven Seagal movies,
you come home and it's like, fuck, now I gotta watch Under Siege.
Yeah. Oh god damn it! Now it's Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. Why did he pick both of these?
Why I haven't seen that, but I don't know why it's called Dark Territory.
Yeah,
that's such a funny title.
Yeah. It's right.
And the poster for it is just him hanging off of a train in a very badly photoshopped onto a train.
Yeah.
Tonight we have to watch Sniper Special Ops, where he does 5 minutes of sniping at the beginning of the movie, apparently.
Yeah. And then the rest of it is just not sniping.
It's just him in a chair being fat.
Well, I can relate. Did you already do your recommendations?
Yeah, it was Steven Seagal's On Deadly Ground.
Sorry, we've been talking about Steven Seagal for long enough that I forgot.
Irvin Kershner has a cameo.
Interesting.
The Michael Caine shooting a commercial being like, we're actually trying to help the environment. We're an evil oil company helping the environment. And the director walks in. It's fucking Irvin Kershner.
Irvin Kershner is directing the oil company commercial in the movie.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's not... I mean,
that's funny.
He's playing a fictional character, but I'm like, that's still Irvin Kershner.
Did Steven Seagal also write this? He directed it.
He directed it. I don't think he wrote it.
Okay, so he
doesn't have a writing credit, but
he's
I'm
not
sure
doing the full Stallone.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm sure he had a hand in some of it.
Yeah. That's just a very funny choice to have Irvin Kershner show up and be like, yes, I'm directing this BP commercial. This Chevron commercial.
We got Sven-Ole Thorsen.
Hell yeah.
Sven-Ole Thorsen is like a character in the movie.
That's
with dialogue.
That's rough. How's that go?
I mean, it's great. It's
cool.
It's like a line here and there.
All right.
There's
I love seeing that guy, hearing him talk. Much like Katie Holmes in this movie. I like seeing her. As soon as she has to deliver dialogue, I'm like...
Yeah, this is a little mini prelude to Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. We got Harvey Dent and got the first Rachel in
this.
That's
right. Yeah.
I guess we'll talk about the movie now.
Sure.
Instead,
Sorry,
stop talking about Steven Seagal movies.
Didn't mean to
for
get
the
us
second
back
week in a row.
Yeah, it's like your Godzilla corner all over again, except this is somehow less intentional. We just keep drifting into it. Like we're falling asleep at the wheel of the podcast and drifting onto the rumble strip that is Steven Seagal's filmography.
Yeah, just falling into a diabetic coma like I'm sure Steven Seagal does every night.
Yeah. Thank You for Smoking is the film that we are here to talk about.
Directed by Jason Reitman, son of Ivan Reitman.
Yes, son of Ivan Reitman and carrier on of Ivan Reitman's legacy in many critically derided ways, such as his Saturday Night Live movie and his Ghostbusters Lego sequel. But the only movie I've seen from him other than this is Juno, which is a great movie. But other than that, I'm pretty ignorant on Ivan Reitman.
Yeah, that's all I've seen from him too, is Juno, and I have seen this film before. I'm not a comedy guy.
Yeah.
I like comedies, but I don't go out of my way to see a lot of them, and that's
Yeah.
what most of his filmography is.
Me either. We've talked about this before on the show, so regular listeners will be aware that this is territory that we're like less well versed in.
Yeah. But I remember this movie very well.
Uh-huh.
I think I caught parts of it on TV one day, and I was really surprised by it. I remember the marketing campaign for this movie. The poster had like a cigarette in a business suit, and it said "Thank you for smoking" and very big.
It's kind of the poster is sort of a play on the Uncle Sam like "I want you" thing. So it's like he's in a suit pointing, but his head's a cigarette.
Yeah. I think I caught this on TV one day and then sought it out to actually watch it. And this was one of those where I started this movie, and it was not that I was like, oh, I remember everything in this movie, but like as things came up, I was like, oh yes, I remember this part exactly.
Yeah.
And I've always, it's like, it's one that pops into my mind every now and again as being a really interesting, flawed, charming satire.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt about it watching it this time, too.
I think I'm with you on pretty much all of those points. I think the thing that works for me the best in this movie is the satire specifically, because like the whole movie is a satire, but like the satirical elements, like the way that it's deployed in this movie, it's done pretty subtly, and like we're not doing Adam McKay shit here, where everything is like really like frenetic and crazy, because like there are elements of this movie where like we'll do a cutaway gag, or we'll do like when I don't remember what the guy says in the boardroom. I think it's J.K. Simmons says something in the boardroom, and then the subtitle pops up that says "pussy."
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's using veiled language to talk about someone that he thinks is weak, and then it's like pussies or whatever, and it's like shit like that is like Adam McKay movie type stuff, right? But it's like pretty restrained for large swaths of this movie. Those elements are pretty like reined in, and so when they deploy, it feels like it's like a little bit more of like a punch than it is in like an Adam McKay movie, like in Vice or something, when you're like, okay, like we're doing this so much that it kind of is lessening the impact of this stylistic choice, right? And I feel like because there's a little more restraint in this movie, those moments do like hit a little harder and make you laugh a little more.
I was reminded of Vice a lot watching this
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
I haven't seen Vice in a while. At the time when it came out, I remember loving it.
Yeah,
but
I liked it. Yeah.
But I remember it having that kind of over the top, hitting you over the head style that was very meta and frenetic and played with the form quite a bit. And this has some of that. This also reminded me a bit of the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like somewhere in between Adam McKay and the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
And this was not an original idea. This was based on a book. I would be
based on
really interested to see what the book is like.
Based on a book by George H.W. Bush's speechwriter.
Oh, really?
Which is very interesting to me, because speechwriter doesn't necessarily mean much, but we can assume that the guy who wrote the book is a conservative. And again, it is very interesting to me, the involvement of like a guy who worked for the first Bush administration, and then like on the movie side, like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel as producers. There is like there's a conservative and libertarian hand in all of this that I feel like is, and maybe this is just my reading of the movie, because it is sort of one of those movies that you can, if you're anywhere on the political spectrum and you watch this movie, you'll think that the movie is agreeing with you to some extent, I think. Because that's sort of one of my criticisms of the movie, actually, is that its politics are, I think, not specific enough. It sort of is satirizing the whole thing instead of like being specific about what we're taking aim at.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to me that some of this stuff has like kind of a conservative, like kind of a right-wing political bent to it as far as its origin, specifically like the guy who wrote the book. Because I'm like, I don't know, it seems to me that what this movie has to say is that like regulating private industry is probably good actually. And like the people who are lobbyists for companies that like prey on the American public and like knowingly harm people are like bad. and it's interesting to me that people who like are all for like free market capitalism would be like, no, yeah, this is the story we want to tell.
Yeah, and speaking of conservatives, Mel Gibson originally bought the rights for the book,
right,
for his production company,
yeah,
before it passed to Reitman, and then he got bankrolled by David O. Sachs, who was the COO of PayPal,
yeah.
And he had a financier for the script, and that's where Peter Thiel and Elon Musk come in.
Yeah, can you imagine how much less funny this movie would be if Mel Gibson had directed it or been involved somehow, had starred in it?
Yeah, he was going to play Nick Naylor.
Oh man, Mel Gibson, as we all know, guy who is so good at comedy. Have you ever seen What Women Want?
No.
Don't. It is not good.
Nick Naylor, I hardly know her.
Hey, I was gonna make that joke.
I wanted to make it before you did.
My fucking man. Naylor. Sorry. I'm glad you made the joke so that I can laugh at it. If I had made it, I still would have laughed at it, but I would have felt worse about it.
One of the things I find interesting about this movie is that obviously it's a satire of capitalism and lobbyists and marketing and just government regulations and all of that. But it is squarely focused on the tobacco industry for most of the movie.
Yeah. And
the tobacco industry is like a thing of the past to an extent.
Well, yeah.
It's things have changed. You know,
right now it's big vape.
Now it's big vape, yeah. But like the days of cigarettes and like smoking in restaurants and smoking being this sort of public health matter, I feel like there was a sea change starting to occur when this movie came out.
Right. Now if you see somebody smoking, it's like, oh, that person's smoking. Like, and like for my job, there's bands that play at the theater that I manage, and it's always surprising to me that young people are still smoking cigarettes. Like between bands, like during changeover, people will go outside and smoke cigarettes, and I'm like, oh wow, they're still doing that, you know? So yeah, there's definitely been a shift in like how culturally like omnipresent cigarettes are, and it does feel a little bit like a counterculture or like subculture thing when you see them and you're like, oh, that person's not really doing the normal thing, which is if you're going to have nicotine, you're going to vape it, probably.
Yeah. Like, and if you were running that club 25 years ago,
right,
people would be smoking inside the club.
Inside, yeah.
There'd just be a haze of smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, even the Shakespeare Festival, right? Like, if it was the 70s or 80s, people would be smoking during the plays. Inside. Yeah. I remember, like, growing up in the 90s, I still remember being, like, smoking or non when you would go to a restaurant.
Yeah, that was something that changed when we were kids.
Yeah. And all these fucking kids out here now don't even remember. They don't even remember when you went to a hotel and the hall just smelled like cigarettes because there were smoking rooms in the hotel.
Right. And yeah, I guess, like, to an extent, yeah, the tobacco industry is still around.
Yeah.
But they're a lot less aggressive with the marketing and more, I guess, insidious about it. Like, with vaping and some of the alternatives that have come out. Yeah. It's like now instead of it being so tied to, like, American masculinity and the American identity, which this movie is dealing with America's relationship to cigarettes. It's like, yeah, you're going out with your friends and partying and talking about Fortnite and Labubus, and you're gonna vape because it's hip and cool,
right? Or you're vaping because you have mental illness and you can't afford medication. I've definitely seen some TikTok targeted content that is up that alley. Whether the creators are being paid by the vape industry or not, sort of the tenor of it is like, oh, I can't afford my anxiety meds, so instead I just vape nicotine. because nobody's ever gotten anxious from nicotine. It's famously a thing that only helps with that. Yeah, it's interesting that you say that this movie is kind of specifically focused on the tobacco industry, because I think in some ways it is. But I also kind of think that the tobacco industry does work in this movie as a stand-in for just any American industry that harms the public.
For
right?
sure.
Which is all of them. I think the in of the movie, like the way that it gets you, is by having Nick Naylor work for Big Tobacco, you immediately understand what the movie is saying about American capitalism and government regulation, right? Because that's a pretty clear-cut case of like, this thing does obvious harm.
Yeah, everyone knows that smoking is bad.
Right, it's a
whether
public
you
health
smoke
risk.
or you don't.
Right.
We all know what it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I feel like them picking that is like it's a very obvious it sets up what they're trying to say pretty clearly. But it does work. The metaphor works for any number of industries, which I think is kind of what the end of the movie is about.
Yeah.
When he's like, now the mod squad has expanded, and there's like the guy who works for like a big chemical and the guy who works for the oil industry, because it's like the movie is acknowledging that it's like, yeah, what we have been saying about the tobacco industry is true of every major American industry. They all harm people. They all kill people. And like the conversations with the Mod Squad about the number of deaths that like cars and planes cause, right? It's like, yeah, it's pretty clear that the movie is saying like, we're using Big Tobacco as an example to talk about a bigger thing that affects like every facet of the economy, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it all takes place in a world that is heightened and over the top and a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
although sometimes not as ridiculous as I would like.
Sure.
Which is a criticism I have of this movie.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish we went bigger with it. Especially because you got J.K. Simmons and William H. Macy in here. It's like, those guys can do big, and it feels weirdly like they're a little reined in at times. And I'm like, why are we reining them in? Let them go crazy.
I mean, J.K. Simmons isn't quite demanding pictures of Spider-Man.
Right.
But he's getting close,
He
I think.
should be. I want BR to be the J. Jonah Jameson of Big Tobacco. He should be chomping on a cigar, which it is a funny choice that in this movie nobody smokes.
Yeah.
And I actually do like that as a choice.
I think so too.
Chomping on a cigar.
There's no cigarettes depicted. No one smokes in this movie other than in advertisements or movies that they're like old movies that they have on screen.
Yes, which in and of itself is saying something, which I like. I like that decision is so pointed that it like becomes part of the thematic framework of the movie.
I think the closest we get to seeing a physical cigarette is Aaron Eckhart takes out a pack of cigarettes that's empty.
Yeah.
And just looks at and then just holds the pack.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no one's smoking in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sorry, you were going to say something, I think, and then I derailed.
I don't know.
I don't remember either. The Adam McKay big, showy, like, cutaway stuff isn't what I want. I just feel like maybe the world could be, like, more vibrant and silly. Like, it feels unnecessarily grounded for a satire at times. I don't know if you felt the same way.
I mean, I think it works. I think it is just within like the realm of reality that you can sort of accept it. But if you interrogate things a little bit further, it kind of becomes a silly over the top parody of American industries.
Right.
Of like with like the Merchants of Death meetings where it's like these are three figureheads of alcohol, guns, and cigarettes,
yes,
all having dinner together and basically are like representing those industries.
Right. It's like,
and
they have their like evil villain dinners.
Right. The only thing they're
funny.
missing is big money bags with dollar signs on them.
Yes, yeah. And that's what it, like the Mod Squad dinners are some of my favorite scenes of this movie, I think, because those do feel kind of the most over the top and silly. Like I just really love anytime it's the three of them and when they're comparing death counts and trying to one up each other about how much alcohol, guns, and cigarettes kill people. is like one of my favorite scenes in the movie, because it's like, yeah, this feels insane and ridiculous, but also at the same time, it's like the satire is like smart enough that it is like getting at something real, you know? And I guess I just kind of wish that there was more like big stuff like that, especially like even the set and the way it's shot. Like it's like it feels like they're like mobsters. Like it feels like they're in a mob movie, right? Like they're eating their steaks in like this big booth, and the lighting is, or the set is like really red, and the lighting is like low and warm and stuff. And it just feels like we're like, you know, making like back alley deals here, but it's like these people are like major like government lobbyists for these huge industries.
There's other stuff like the Hollywood organization that's like the entertainment group, or the initials are ego.
Yes.
There's stuff there that's like kind of feels like South Park jokes that are just dialed down a bit.
Yes, and I will say all of the stuff with Rob Lowe is probably my actual favorite stuff in the movie. There is the shot when it is revealed that he is talking on a headset wearing a kimono, staring out the window while he's on the phone with Aaron Eckhart, got the biggest laugh from me in the entire movie. Just the reveal shot that he's just wearing the kimono, like staring stony-faced into the night, being like, it's 4 a.m. in Tokyo. That's the future. Yeah.
I also think that like the emotional core of the story being about a father bonding with his estranged son by grooming him to be just an evil lobbyist that argues for the sake of arguing and has no moral scruples whatsoever.
Yes, a soulless capitalist
is like quite affecting and surprising that the movie tries to do this and pulls it off so well.
Yeah, I agree. And also, again, very weird that Elon Musk and Peter Thiel helped bankroll this, because I'm like, you guys understand that what he's doing to his kid is fucked up. But I mean,
this kid probably grew up to be on Doge, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I could totally see this guy fucking, stealing a bunch of government files and memeing about it on X. Telling Grok to fucking, I don't know, take some lady's clothes off. Wow, we live in such a cool country. But speaking of this kid. Oh boy, do I not like this performance.
Really?
I really think this kid is very, very bad. He is wooden, and I think that the movie is trying to use his woodenness as a joke. And I'm like, I understand, movie, that you think that this kid being wooden is like part of the gag, but what I see is a performance that I am bored by and don't enjoy looking at with my eyeballs.
This is Cameron Bright, who was also in Juno.
Yes.
And apparently has credits for some of the Twilight movies.
Apologies to Cameron Bright. But, I'm sure he's a lovely human being, but I think he stinks like doo-doo in this movie.
I really like this performance.
Wow, that is shocking to me.
I think this kid does a really, the wooden thing is very intentional.
Yeah.
I like watching this kid turn into a soulless husk of a human being.
Yeah, sure.
And the movie playing it as being adorable and sweet that he's bonding with his father.
Yes.
I think the kid does a really good job with the material.
Yeah.
And his face, too. Like, he has these bright blue eyes and this kind of dead expression that
he does look like a fucking White Walker.
It's like it's somewhere between adorable and horrifying.
Right.
He has a face born for like a shitty Exorcist ripoff.
Totally. Yeah, no, this kid does seem like he has the devil inside him. I hear everything you're saying, and I don't disagree with how the movie is using him. I think the thing that I have a problem with is that he's only ever wooden to me, and if there was a thing where it's like if you saw a spark, a glimmer of humanity, a soul in this kid, that then Aaron Eckhart through his bad parenting and teaching his son all the wrong lessons, was sort of extinguishing and creating this woodenness. I feel like that would work better for me in the movie. But to me, he's only ever wooden. So I'm like, okay, so you just like had a natural sociopath child that you are now teaching how to be a better sociopath, as opposed to you had like a normal kid who you're like corrupting. Like this kid just always seems wrong from the jump to me, and I'm like, I don't know, like I would have liked to see more of a journey here instead of him just always being like, Father, how do you best win debate?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's so funny at the end of the movie when he's like, and then my son joined the debate team, and I was like, yep, that's what this movie is about. It's about why you shouldn't join your high school debate team.
It's about why lawyers do not deserve rights. Yeah. I don't know.
God, so many class projects in high school that were debate related that were a waste of fucking time.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I was like, why are we debating abortion? Why are we doing debates over marijuana in high school? What is this teaching us?
It's teaching you which of your classmates you hate. I guess it's practice for the adult world where you just never stop arguing about any of that stuff until you die.
Yeah, but at least when you do it online, you can call people slurs while you do it. And in the new world of Elon Musk's X.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I hate that his name's Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I hate that those are words
Yeah.
that were combined together by some South African mother, and now I have to
now I have to know that
spit
there's
them out.
Now that I know that there's a guy who's named that.
They have to exit my mouth, and they feel all weird coming out. Elon Musk.
Yeah. Ugh.
Almost as bad as someone being named Emerald Fennel.
Yeah. For a second, I
she's
thought you were
named
going to
after
say
a gem and a seasoning and sausage.
That's right, and from what I understand, has movies to match that name. That just sounds like the worst white lady you know. But that being said, I haven't really seen any of Emerald Fennel's movies, so maybe I'm wrong, and I would like them if I saw them.
I'm sure you're not missing anything, and there's other movies that you could watch.
That's true.
That.
That's true. Like Steven Seagal movies.
You could watch Steven Seagal movies.
Yeah.
You could watch.
Wait, we're back on
Godzilla
the rumble strip.
movies.
We're gonna correct.
Oh
Turn
shit!
the wheel.
No,
spin
God.
the wheel. I don't know. So like all the kid shit in this movie, I think, is the weak stuff for me.
Uh-huh.
Where I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I get what's happening here. I get that. I get what the movie is saying about his sort of lack of a moral compass rubbing off on his kid. I just wasn't. The performance wasn't there to anchor it for me.
Okay,
So
what does work for you then?
all the satire stuff works for me. Like I said, I love the Mod Squad.
Yeah,
and I love like the through line of him, sort of. Kind of like putting himself into all of these positions, these morally compromised positions, and just kind of like smiling through it and like smarming his way through it, and like knowing that he's doing bad, but like just being like, hey, somebody's got to do it, and I'm good at this, and it pays the mortgage. That's the thing I really like about this movie is the yuppie Nuremberg defense, as he calls it.
Yeah.
When he's like, yeah, like. Like it's a paycheck, right? Like all of that stuff works really well for me. I kind of wish that there was just more of him navigating like more lobbyist scenarios and less kid stuff is sort of what I would like from the movie. I think.
Yeah, this movie's a little thin on plot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of scenes kind of strung together.
Right. That's why we're taking a looser approach talking about it rather than going through chronologically.
I think that feels better because like what the A to B to C plot in this movie doesn't really matter so much.
Yeah.
But what does, I think, anchor this movie really strongly is Aaron Eckhart's performance.
Yeah.
One of our... Is it I keep saying Eckhart. It's Eckhart. Is it more of a heart? Yeah. Okay.
I think so. I say Eckhart.
Eckhart. I don't know why I'm bad at saying words, I guess. But yes, Aaron Eckhart... Harvey Dent himself.
Yeah.
One of Hollywood's greatest butt chins.
Yes, and as a butt chin myself, many people don't know that about me because I often wear a beard. But if I shave the beard, I have a butt chin. I appreciate seeing the representation.
Yeah, I think he's great in this, and like he's so swarmy and slimy and spineless. And the movie does a pretty good job of also making him likable.
Yeah, totally. Right? Where you're like, yeah, I get that this guy is a piece of shit, but he's also sort of a piece of shit who's coming from a relatable place, which is, I have to pay the mortgage, right? And also, I found a thing I'm good at. So what? I'm just not going to do it?
Right. He uses this, like, I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah.
Defense throughout the movie.
Yes,
and
when he's
tries
flying
to portray
in Coach.
himself that way.
Yeah,
right.
I love the gag with him flying in Coach, and he's like, "Yeah, I like to be among the people," and then he's like, "And I try and talk to the person next to me on the plane and convince them to smoke cigarettes because if I did that, I paid for my flight and the return flight," which is very funny. Yeah, his whole like kind of like all American boy thing, I think works pretty well. For the character being like sort of like an anti-hero rather than just like it's not Vice. You're not spending the whole movie with a guy where you're just like, fuck this dude, this guy sucks shit.
Yeah,
it's like this guy sucks, but also like I kind of want to hang out with him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost the Jordan Belfort thing,
right?
In
Totally.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
whereas, but I mean, that's a Scorsese movie and like one of his best movies and also one of Leo's best performances.
Yeah,
where he portrays such a morally reprehensible character that the fact that he is as likable as he is just a credit to the script, the direction, and the acting.
Right. Yeah.
And shows how appealing that lifestyle is.
Yeah.
And how easy it is to get suckered into that cycle of greed and manipulation, which this movie has too. It explores that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. In a pretty like subtle way to some extent. There's like all the stuff with the private jet because like he Nick Naylor has the idea to get cigarettes back into movies, right? Because he's like, you know, the tobacco industry is kind of floundering. There's all this pressure from the government. And he's like, you know, what we have to do is make it cool again. Have actors smoke in movies and then people will want to smoke. And so that's his idea. J.K. Simmons, his boss, J.K. Simmons plays BR in this movie. And I love his nameplate on his desk that just says BR. I think it's really funny.
And it's like a nickname that he got in Vietnam, but they won't say what it stands for.
Yes, yeah. Right, everyone who knew what it stood for is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he joined... Or no, that's David Koechner's character. Never mind. I got it flipped.
No, it is... Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
because David Koechner joined the National Guard to shoot college
students, but then he signed up too late and he got deployed to Panama, and so then he was shooting Latin American insurgents, and which was almost as good as college students, but Panamanians shoot back, which is a funny joke.
Sam Elliott's character is playing. He's basically playing the original Marlboro Man.
Yes,
who's dying of lung cancer and is old, and Nick Naylor's trying to pay him hush money. He mentions Vietnam too.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering if what that has to do with things.
Yeah, I don't have
if there's anything there.
Yeah, other than it just being like this.
Oh, and fucking the captain played by the recently deceased late great Robert Duvall.
R.I.P. Robert Duvall. We lost him only about a week ago.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't realize he was in this movie.
Yeah, playing Wilford Brimley in this movie. He's doing a Brimley thing.
Yeah,
maybe it's the mustache,
sort of. Talking about mint juleps and how Fidel Castro taught him a mint julep trick.
Yes,
I don't know what Vietnam and the Cold War and communism has to do with this movie, but it's mentioned several times.
Yes. Also, welcome back to the show, Robert Duvall. This is his second appearance. His first, of course, being The judge.
The judge. Yeah, I think this is a bit of a second round.
It's nice that we're doing
second chance for Robert Duvall.
It's nice that we're doing this one after he has recently passed, as opposed to the judge, because that would feel like pissing on his grave, which is a thing a guy threatens to do in The Judge.
Oh man.
Sorry,
Fuck, we got to get loaded and watch The Judge together.
Instead of veering to the right and hitting the Seagal rumble strip, I accidentally veered left and hit the Judge rumble strip.
Oh, he was in a Seagal movie too that I just saw recently.
Duvall was?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
William Sadler. I was thinking William Sadler was playing a senator in a Seagal movie, and we talked about him on last week's episode. I got mixed up.
Oh, got it.
I'm too. The Seagal movies are blending together. It's just one
You're
long.
reaching a Seagal singularity.
All I see is that ponytail.
You divided by 0, and now you're just like at the apex of the Seagal universe.
What's really funny is all the titles of his early movies are structured in a way that in the trailer they can say Steven Seagal is out for justice,
is under siege,
is hard to kill, is marked for death.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall is good in this movie. And clearly having fun.
Yes, he's having a good time. He's right. He's doing like a big character thing. He's like a southern old plantation man with a bunch of vague African American people who are serving him juleps in a way that is pointed. Yeah. And I sort of like that we're just like not saying that part and just being like, yeah, this dude is like the bad type of American old money. Like, there's no good type of American old money, but this guy is the really bad type. And I like that we're just kind of like letting that exist over in the corner, where if you think about it, you're like, oh, right.
And he's just this legend of the cigarette industry.
Yes.
Because he, like, when Reader's Digest published an article about the health and safety of cigarettes, like, he was there defending them.
Yeah.
And, like,
in
introduced filtered cigarettes.
You remember 1952?
Yeah.
And Aaron Eckhart's like, I wasn't born in 1952.
I was in Korea shooting Chinese.
Yeah. They're our biggest customer now. Next time around, we'll have to shoot a lot less of them. Yeah. Yeah. Good performance from Robert Duvall. Yeah. And I like all of the stuff where it's like he's maybe stupid or maybe just a little senile, but like all of his decisions seem motivated entirely by vibes. He's just like, he meets Aaron Eckhart and he's like, I like you, boy. I'm going to send you to Hollywood. You know, like it's like, and then Aaron Eckhart goes back to J.K. Simmons, and J.K. Simmons is like, so was he mad at you about like promising $50 million for that anti-teen smoking campaign? And Aaron Eckhart's like, no, he loved me, and I rode on his private jet because he's like old and insane.
Yeah, Tobacco One.
Yeah,
and he's got the hot stewardess.
Tobacco One is one of my favorite jokes.
That's a very good joke.
I really laughed at Tobacco One. Yeah, because, right, he boards the plane and the really hot stewardess is like, welcome to Tobacco One, Mr. Naylor.
Tits are hanging out of her her uniform.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys in this movie.
There are a lot of guys in this movie. Big guys movie. Not necessarily big guys with faces movie, but a lot of character actor guys.
Yeah, not quite a movie that would fall into my definition of movies with a lot of guys in them.
Yeah,
but it gets close.
Because for that type of movie, you need like weirder, more like lower tier guys than this.
Yeah,
this is a lot of like A and B tier guys. Yeah, right. Because like William H. Macy, depending on the point in his career, has like, you know, briefly touched A tier territory and has mostly been a B tier guy. You know, you got Duvall in here, you got Aaron Eckhart in here, you got J.K. Simmons in here, you got David Koechner in here.
Yeah, we got some SNL guys. We got or like people I associate with SNL.
Yeah,
the guy who's William H. Macy's assistant, who's also in High Fidelity.
Oh, right.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, me either.
But he's recognizable.
Yeah, you got
Rob Lowe.
Yes, you got Rob Lowe. You got Adam Brody in here, who is in my notes as the guy from Jennifer's Body.
Oh, who does he play?
He's Rob Lowe's assistant.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a fucking awesome performance.
It's so funny. He like the whole reason that the Hollywood talent agency bit of the movie is my favorite part of the movie is because of Rob Lowe and Adam Brody. Those two performances fucking really sent me. Like both of them are like on freak mode in this movie in a way that I wanted more people in this movie to be. You know, because like Rob Lowe is like so weird. His energy is so vile in this movie. Because he's talking about like how the other funder for the big movie that because you know Aaron Eckhart wants to get cigarettes back in movies, so he gets sent to Rob Lowe, and Rob Lowe is like like the other financier behind this movie that we want to make, this like space movie with George Clooney or whatever, is like the Sultan of, I think it's a fake country, I think he says Glutan. He might say Bhutan, but I thought it was like a satirical twist on Bhutan. But he's like, and Aaron Eckhart is something like, oh yeah, I heard he was like a war criminal, and he's like, oh yeah, but when I've met him, he's a really chill guy.
Yeah,
you know, and so it's all the shit like that where he's just like, oh, in my personal experience, I've always found him to be pleasant. You know?
And the whole fetishization of Japanese culture in The Office.
Yes.
There's the guy that they hire to, you know, rake the Zen garden.
Yes, and his like minimalist tech bro nightmare office where just everything is like white and there's no place to sit down. And there's like in the lobby there's like a big screen with an orca like savagely eating a seal. All that shit was so funny to me.
Yeah,
I thought and Adam Brody is like so perfectly dialed into that. He's playing like such a slimy, weird, like bro-y. He has like tech guy energy.
Yeah,
even though he's working for like a Hollywood like talent agency. It is big, like, startup dude energy, where he's, like, busting his coworkers' balls in, like, a really aggressive and inappropriate way. He's, like, talking about how he's gonna, like, feed his mother to his dog with syphilis.
That was the funniest. That got the biggest laugh for me. And then he turns and he's like, "Oh, yeah, it's just an inside joke."
Yeah. If you want a white boy with fucking rancid vibes, you know, accept no substitutes. Just call Adam Brody. That is what he excels at.
Yeah, by the time he was like pointing out the koi fish in the pond and how much they were worth.
Yeah.
And then one was like, "Oh, and that one's $12,000. That was her gift from Oprah."
Yeah. And he's like,
I was wondering, like, I wonder how much this reminds Justice of the company that he used to work for.
Okay. This is a thing that we should talk about because because you bringing that up. It is very good that we are covering this movie now after I have left that job as opposed to while I was at it, because I think if I had watched this while I had been working at a major tech company, I'm still not going to say which one it was, but let me just say, you know it. I would have had an existential crisis. This would have made me spiral if I had watched this movie while I was working there, because I would have been like, "Oh, I'm Nick Naylor." Like that I'm just the devil.
You're one of the merchants of death.
Yes. And why was I doing it? For the mortgage. The yuppie Nuremberg defense. This movie was about me then. And so I'm very happy that I'm very happy that this movie is no longer about my life. But yeah, it was like this whole scene was really making me laugh, partially because I was like, oh yeah, this is all so recognizable to me.
Yeah. And like some of those, I don't want to put you on, I'm not trying to put you on
No.
or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I have Final Cut over the edits. So
you do.
I can cut out anything that makes me uncomfortable that we reveal.
I remember there was a conversation that I was a part of where you were talking to a friend of ours about a colleague of yours who was a lawyer who would battled a few lawsuits against your company and struck them down in court, and you were like, but I really like that guy.
Yeah. Yep. It's one of the really uncomfortable things about working a job like that is, like, there are people who you meet who are really good at their job, and what their job is getting people basically fucking over people who have no power, and they are representing a very powerful entity.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, that's objectively morally wrong in my opinion. Right. And you get to know these people, and they are three-dimensional human beings with lives and families and interests. And it's hard to square that. It's hard to square what they're doing for their job and who they are, you know? And it's one of those things. It's one of those things where, like, even with our country's current state of affairs, our kind of descent into, our slide to the right, and the whole, fascist police state that is, like, taking over our country, right? There are people who voted for this,
mm-hmm.
and when you talk to them, you're like, you're not evil. You're like a person.
Right.
And it's hard to make someone like that understand. Like, you realize that you're hurting other people. And sometimes, like, they know. Sometimes, like Aaron Eckhart in this movie, they're like, I know I'm hurting other people. I also have to, like, take care of my kid and, like, send him to the best school and whatever. And, like, hurting people makes money. And it's just, like, that kind of moral cognitive dissonance that, like, some people can learn to live with and other people can't, I guess. I don't know. It's complicated. It's hard. Because it's like, there's still people that I look back on from my old job who I still, like and respect. And then I think about the effects of the work that they're doing, and I'm like, I think it's net evil for the human race.
Right.
And I still think that those people are people that I like and that I respect, and that I miss having conversations with, and it's like, it's weird.
And I think that dissonance is why the scenes with the kid are so work so well for me, is because
fair enough.
I in addition to I think the kid's performance being good, is like Aaron Eckhart talking about the skills of arguing and debating, and the question of, like, are these skills inherently useful even if you're, like, using them for morally dubious reasons,
right?
Which is one of the thinking about, like, the other one of the other, like, world events that this movie made me think of was the assassination of Charlie Kirk,
right?
And the debate about, or the discussion surrounding his death about, like, well, Charlie Kirk was encouraging debate and free thought and et cetera, et cetera.
He
and it
did
was like,
politics the right way,
right?
Yeah,
right. And I'm
that
like,
fucking horseshit.
Right. Is when they're at the fair, and they're talking about whether chocolate or vanilla is better. And Aaron Eckhart says, I don't have to something to the effect of, like, I don't have to convince you, I have to convince them.
Yeah.
And how debating does very little for, like, the people who are actually debating and the people who are actually invested in the issues.
You're never going to change somebody's mind by debating them.
Right. It's all about the optics.
Yep.
And it's like, or like when Bill Nye debating Ken Ham, and how that, if I remember the story correctly, that drove up interest in Ken Ham. What a fucking terrible name. Ken Ham. I'm John Beef. That drove ticket sales for the Creation Museum.
Right.
After the debate.
Yep. Because it's platforming the ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
Do all ideas deserve a platform? Do they all deserve their space in the
we should censor some people.
Right. Some people shouldn't be allowed to say.
Some people should not be allowed to talk, like Big Tobacco, for example. Right?
Yeah.
And that, I think that is one of the sort of pieces of satire in this movie that works well for me, is like Aaron Eckhart, like, consistently throughout the movie is like, well, I'm just, like, sticking up for free speech. The freedom that giant multinational corporations have to speak in defense of their own interests. And it's like so clearly bullshit. Like it's so clearly like,
yeah,
obviously this is not the same thing.
Yeah, you like if you were a lawyer, you would say that every person deserves a defense.
Right.
Well, so do multinational corporations.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously this is apples and oranges, but he just delivers it with so much confidence, and you're like, oh, this guy is totally buying his own bullshit. He is totally like, he has fed into all of this like ideology where it's like, oh yeah, everyone deserves a vote, including guy with billions of dollars. He is clearly only exercising his freedom of speech, you know? And it's like, no, like, it's when you have more resources than somebody else, your voice overpowers theirs. Like, that's not freedom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think the movie does a good job of like kind of showing the ridiculousness of that idea pretty plainly, you know, in a way where, again, it still does baffle me that Peter Thiel was like, yep, sign me up, put my name on this movie. But yeah,
I think one of my problems is that the movie ends up landing a little bit too squarely on just like pointing fingers at everyone in a way that doesn't feels like it's like taking ownership of its own ideas, or committing to its own ideas. And I wonder if some of that starts with Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
Because this movie's pointing its fingers at journalism too.
Yeah.
And I struggle with some of that because I do think like obviously like fucking Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post.
Yes.
You know, like how many shitty New York Times opinion articles leak through the cracks that are written by conservatives. Like
right.
there's and you know there's definitely plenty of cases where journalistic integrity went out the window in favor of serving special interests.
Right. It's not like journalism as an industry is like above criticism, because it's definitely not.
But I wonder if the movies, if the criticisms it levels at journalism and the way that like Katie Holmes as a character manipulates Aaron Eckhart with sex,
yes,
is just a little bit too shallow.
Yeah,
and ends up serving the kind of empty moral messaging at the end of the film.
Yeah, it feels like it doesn't have like a very nuanced critique of journalism. You know, like it feels like the movie is kind of being like, and the news is also bad, and it's like, okay, but it feels like we're focusing a lot on the government and big business aspects of this whole equation, and then like your journalism is also bad thing is like a pretty lady lied to me to suck my dick.
Yeah,
right.
And this movie isn't very nuanced or subtle, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. In fact, like I think one of my favorite moments of satire in this movie is at the very end when the Mod Squad's having dinner again, and David Koechner orders a slice of apple pie with a slice of cheese on top with a little American flag sticking in it.
Yes, yeah.
And Aaron Eckhart's like, that's disgusting. And he's like, well, it's
American.
And that just kind of sums up the whole movie, I think, in a really, really clean, crisp way that is also very on the nose.
Agreed.
But with the Katie Holmes stuff being like, lady journalist bad because she slept with me.
Yes. She's too sexy and she lied. Yeah. Also, like for a little bit in the movie, I was like, this is going to be one of those where I have to, as like a person with a career journalist spouse, I'm going to have to get on mic and be like, this is not how journalism works. But then, to the movie's credit, they do highlight that, yes, you cannot just sleep with a source and get them to say things and keep your job. Because he does, like, Aaron Eckhart is like, he does the TV interview where he's like, so the journalist who released that article did it under false pretenses. She slept with me to get all that information out of me. And we kind of see Katie Holmes realize that her career is over. And then in the little end bit, she's been like demoted to like local TV news, where before she was like writing for a major like national publication or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you can't just do that. Like that's not a thing that journalists do, because it ends careers if you do it. Like it's unethical. But yeah, I don't know. That whole, like, also...
I heard that apparently there was a rumor that there was a nude scene with Katie Holmes in the movie, and Tom Cruise paid the producers to take it out of the movie.
I can't believe that Tom Cruise would do anything that weird and possessive. He seems so normal,
right,
in relationships.
Just a nice, normally well-adjusted man.
That doesn't
who
sound
definitely knows nothing about where Shelley Miscavige is. Who doesn't have the faintest idea.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Tom Cruise at all, being weirdly possessive of his spouse's body. Yeah.
But I don't know that it was confirmed that actually happened or not. I guess Aaron Eckhart was answering a lot of questions about that, and he was like, I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
When they were
interviewing
him for the film.
I didn't get a brick thrown through my window that said, stay away from my wife.
I have not seen Katie Holmes' perfect breasts.
Yeah.
Katie Holmes just used to be in movies.
I
don't miss her.
No.
You know, okay, I did
don't
rewatch. When I rewatched Batman Begins, I was like, I like her more than I remember.
Okay.
But I don't. She seems like she's in this movie just because she was hot shit at the moment. I don't think she's a great choice for this character.
I don't love talking bad about actors, but like, I really don't like Katie Holmes in this movie. I think she just does not have it, you know? And like, I like her better in Batman Begins, but even there, like, I have not seen a lot of Katie Holmes performances. I have yet to see one that I enjoy. We'll just put it that way. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I'm sure she's a lovely human being, but not doing this movie any favors. There's other good performances anchoring this thing. I will say, we were talking about the Mod Squad. Maria Bello as the...
Oh my God! Hold on. Elon Musk has a cameo in this.
Oh God!
As a valet. Fuck! I'm gonna have to find that.
Oh,
or not. Maybe I'll just forget it. I'll try to memory hole that. Wipe my memory that he was in the movie.
I definitely did not catch Elon Musk's cameo.
Well,
in
it's
the movie.
definitely not as aggressive as his cameo in Iron Man 2. Where
Oh,
it's just,
right.
Here's Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Like Donald Trump in Home Alone 2.
What I did catch though is at the like Senate deposition at the end. There's a guy like sitting kind of like back and to the right of Aaron Eckhart who looks so much like Vladimir Putin. Where I was like, oh, that's just a Putin looking guy. Yeah, I'll have to if I ever rewatch Thank You for Smoking, keep my eyes peeled for that fucking droopy eyed blood diamond fortune inheriting fucking pasty sack of shit with his fucking
not even cool enough to get invited to the island.
Yeah it is fun. It is really, really funny that in the Epstein files everyone's like, that guy has weird vibes, we don't really like him.
There was a TikTok I saw of Watto talking about Epstein Island. I was like, man, I should have used that for the podcast.
Yeah, someone beat you to it.
Yeah. I mean, he would get an invite. The man's running a slave operation.
Right.
He's got little...
Right, Jeffrey Epstein would be like...
He's got little boys racing for him.
He'd be like, you got any tips on how to... Have you ever heard Jeffrey
No,
Epstein's
I've never...
voice?
Is that his voice?
He sounds so weird. He's like, hey, I'm just a New York guy. I got
What did
some
he do when he wasn't doing all the stuff that he was accused of? What was his day job?
He seemed really busy. I think he did finance.
Okay, because it's sort of. I mean, I didn't know much about him prior to the convictions and everything coming out. It's sort of like when I was a kid and I knew Michael Jackson as a guy who used to be black and changed his skin pigmentation to white.
Right, and there's more nuance to that. We are aware of that, but that was our understanding as children.
Right, and dangled little boys out of windows.
Right.
Like, and then I was like, oh, he was a musician too.
You didn't know about the musician Michael Jackson.
It took a while.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would be like, come here, little boy.
I definitely
Michael Jackson
was aware
jokes,
of,
and then eventually it was like, oh yeah, he was the king of pop.
I was aware of Jackson 5 Michael Jackson, I think, first. And then it was like, oh, that guy grew up to be weird with kids, and then I learned, he also had a whole career as an adult.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think I just knew about Jackson 5 because fucking cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jeffrey, I just happen to have a chance cube here.
You supply the girls, the island. I supply the pot. We split the winnings
50-50. Little Annie, come here.
No.
This is my friend, Jeffrey. That'll make anyone turn to the dark side.
Yeah. Little Annie, you get on the yacht with Bill Clinton and George H.W. Bush. You sign this NDA, little Annie.
We keep it hush-hush. We don't want Jabba the Hutt to find out.
Oh, man, Jabba the Hutt. There's a guy who definitely was on the island.
I think he had his own island.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if Epstein Island had a Rancor pit.
Yeah. Well, what they definitely had was dancing Twilight girls.
Yo, yeah.
If I know anything about rich freaks, it's that they're all fucking nerds. They were definitely painting somebody blue and putting head tails on them at some point. All of, the type of freak shit that went down, I guarantee someone was dressed up like a Twilight at some point. And anyway. I hope someone does time for doing it, to be clear. We need to put these guys behind fucking bars. Anyway.
We keep doing this.
We do keep talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
We keep going off the rails to make jokes about the pedophile cabal that is running the world.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta laugh so you don't cry, right?
I guess.
Because it's just the worst. It's the worst thing imaginable.
You think
and
Steven Seagal was on the island?
It's all true.
We're hitting the.
I feel like Seagal might be in Musk territory where he probably tried and they were like, nah, dude.
Yeah.
Someone should. I don't know if anyone's searched Steven Seagal's name in the files. Someone must have. But it would be interesting to see if he ever came up. I know what I'm doing after the pod record.
Yeah. I'm fucking putting on Under Siege and doing myself a little Google search.
Anyway, thank you for smoking. We must have more to say about the movie, probably. I don't know. Do we?
The movie ends with the Senate hearing on the warning label that they're going to put on cigarettes.
Yes, William H. Macy wants to put the skull and crossbones on the cigarette packets, which is a thing that some countries have actually done. They've put scary pictures on cigarettes. The U.S., I don't remember if this has ever been a thing here, but I think maybe we tried and it got shot down, much like happens in this movie.
Mm-hmm. William H. Macy's character is also not really painted all that sympathetically.
No. And initially, he's kind of presented as sort of a well-meaning, but kind of he's a little two-faced in that he presents as kind of an aw shucks, I'm just a simple guy from Vermont, but then behind closed doors he's kind of a shitty boss to his campaign guy.
He's sort of the spineless liberal Democrat.
Yeah, and I'm okay with some of that stuff. The issue that I have is especially in that little end section, when it's oh, well, now he wants to erase cigarettes from movies and TV. And it's I feel like what that lends itself to is the left, running amok and having their way is just as bad as private industry.
It becomes a little too all sides.
Right. It's government overreach is just as bad as rampant capitalism, and it's I don't think let's pump the brakes here, movie. I don't think I'm on board with what you're saying. That being said, some of the shit with his character I do think is fun. Mm-hmm. When he's in his office and there's the Vermont cheese sign behind him and his desk is covered in bottles of maple syrup and he's wearing his Birkenstocks with socks.
Yeah.
I was okay, that liberal caricature thing is pretty funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But the crux of Aaron Eckhart's argument at the end here is about personal choice and personal freedom, and uses the fact that Vermont cheddar cheese is, responsible for American cholesterol levels and stuff. And to
William
me,
William H. Macy does have a great line there, where I really like the delivery, where he goes, "The great state of Vermont will not apologize for its cheese."
Yeah, that was a good line.
Yeah.
What I thought was coming, because it seemed so clear to me, it was like, he's just using whataboutism. He's just distracting from the argument and trying to point out all of the other industries in America that we could point a finger at.
Yes.
Why are we pointing it at big tobacco?
Which has basically been his tactic with his son the entire movie, is just teaching his kid logical fallacies to use to win arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here it seems like the movie is making him out to be a more of a hero than he has been previously. It seems like it's on his side more. It just feels...
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like the movie is allowing him to get the gotcha here.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's still a logical fallacy. This is like horseshit. Like...
and the argument for like personal choice, where he's like, if my son wants to have a cigarette on his 18th...
I'll buy him his first pack.
Yeah. And like, there's an argument to be made for personal choice and personal freedom, especially coming out of the war on drugs.
Yeah.
At this time when smoking was becoming more regulated and falling out of favor in popular culture. But it feels kind of unearned.
Yeah.
Especially for the character's journey and for the messaging that the movie's had so far.
Yeah. And I also kind of think that the movie is sort of... Right. The movie sort of contradicts its own message here, because it feels like so much of the movie has been about like, hey, like, personal choice is important, but when there are like multi-billion-dollar companies pushing an agenda on you without your knowledge or consent, that impacts your ability to make a intentional choice.
Right. Your choices are being sold to you through advertising.
Yes, your choices are being constantly manipulated, right? And it sort of feels like the movie kind of forgets about that for a second. And it's like, no, yeah, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is maybe a little too... He is treated a little too rosy towards the end of the movie, where it's like, this guy has been the bad guy for pretty much this whole movie, and now we're just suddenly being like, but isn't there something to like about his worldview? And it's like, no, I don't think there is.
Right.
Yeah.
And it ends with him, they go through like what happened to the other characters.
Yeah.
And it ends with him, he's like basically running a consulting firm for lobbying, and is talking to people who are like...
Yes.
It's about the cell phone
it's
brain
cell phones.
cancer.
Yeah. It's the link between cell phones and brain cancer. I do think that's one piece of this movie that does feel so forward thinking and so like weirdly prescient, is that the movie ends being like, oh yeah, the guy who was defending big tobacco and like lobbying for that is now working for the fucking cell phone companies. It's like, oh yeah, like this movie was clearly in the know about what the next big thing that was ruining our fucking lives was going to be. But so I do like that as kind of a button on it, being like, oh, he's still working for the devil. He's just changed.
Right, and he gives them this devils. He gives them this rehearsed speech to like, although the research is inconclusive, we're exploring every possible option.
Yeah.
Just like another like non-answer logical fallacy that they could present in debate.
Yeah,
and the movie ends with I think a really great quote. Michael Jordan played basketball. Charles Manson killed people. I talk. We all have our own talent.
Yeah.
And so I think at the end it does reframe him as a villain, but I think the climactic scene in the Senate hearing makes him out to be a little bit too heroic.
Yeah.
And contradicts some of the other satirical elements of the film. Is there anything else that you want to say about it?
Yeah, I got a couple things. First of all, will you allow me to be pedantic about Charles Manson for a second?
Charles Manson never actually killed anyone?
He might have killed one person.
Right.
But other than that one person who he maybe killed, technically, he didn't kill anybody.
Okay.
Technically, I would argue that much like Nick Naylor, his skill was talking.
Yeah.
Because he was able to talk other people into killing people, which is, according to the letter of the law, not quite the same thing. Anyway, the other things I wanted to say about the movie. First of all, like, I do want to just double back and say how much I love the jokes in the Mod Squad sections. Because, like, I know I talked about it, but it's like anytime we have the three of them together, I started shouting her out earlier.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but didn't really
Maria
follow
Bello.
through on the thought. Maria Bello and David Koechner are, like, I think kind of the support structure that mostly holds this movie up for me, other than Aaron Eckhart, who I think is good in this movie. I don't think he's like... he didn't blow me away, but it is probably my favorite thing I've ever seen him do is this movie. And I think he's perfect for the role. Like, it's like he brings exactly what you want to it. But I think Maria Bello and David Koechner as the lobbyists for the alcohol industry. Maria Bello, all the stuff with her where it's like... she like started drinking at 14 and like he does the whole backstory narration thing on her.
Yeah.
And then the David Koechner one is so funny too, where it's like, yeah, there's the stuff with him in the National Guard, but then like there's all the stuff where the lobbying firm that he works for, the lobbying group that he works for, is called Safety.
The logos and the acronyms are very funny.
It's so funny. And then like when David Koechner meets Aaron Eckhart's kid at one point, he like pulls like a little gun out, because it's when Aaron Eckhart has been threatened.
Oh yeah,
he
gets kidnapped by
he gets kidnapped by by vague kidnapping people.
Yeah, who drug him with nicotine patches.
Yes, which is, I do like them slapping all the nicotine patches on him, and then him having the hallucination, like nightmare when he's in like a burning building and he's like trying not to breathe in the smoke. That was a nice touch. But yeah, so he gets the death threat. And then David Koechner's like trying to give him a gun. He's got like this little pea shooter that he pulls out of his coat pocket. And Aaron Eckhart's kid is like, cool. And he's like, yeah, I know, right? And then he's like, but only if you know how to use it safely.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really funny joke.
I really like the joke at the end when they're going into the Senate hearing and David Koechner's being wanded down by security. He's like, it's going to be a while.
He's like, yeah, go on without me. It's going to take a while. I like that one too. So all that shit I think is really funny.
Yeah, I think they play off each other very well.
Yeah.
And the dialogue is really witty and snappy. That's like kind of one of the Adam McKay-esque moments of satire in this movie.
But Adam McKay,
but it's fun.
Complimentary this time.
Not
derogatory.
It's fun every time we cut back to that.
Yeah. Also, we didn't really talk about the whole like kidnapping thing. That's not that much of the movie.
I think it's more of a thing in the book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he gets a death threat while he's on TV, because he makes a couple TV appearances. Somebody calls in like they're the Zodiac killer and says that they're going to kill him. And then he gets like pulled into a van, and they slap all these nicotine patches on him. It did make me think, because it is these kidnappers who are threatening death on Nick Naylor. Their rationale is pretty similar to one Jigsaw. And it did make me think about Nick Naylor in a saw trap. Which kind of is what the nicotine patches are.
You have to smoke this entire pack.
Nick Naylor, millions of deaths are upon your hands. Your lobbying for the tobacco industry has destroyed countless lives. Now, you have to smoke an entire carton of cigarettes in the next hour.
He has to smoke... He has to smoke enough cigarettes so he can blow enough smoke into a thing, a contraption that stops the guillotine from cutting his nuts off or whatever. Now you have to smoke as if your life depended on it, because it does.
Nick Naylor, there are 2 burning cigarettes suspended in front of each of your eyeballs. If you do not smoke 15 Cuban cigars in the next 90 seconds, these lit cigarettes will be launched into your eyeballs.
That's basically the plot of Saw 6.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it.
It's just him torturing insurance executives.
Good. I mean, if anyone deserves it.
It's of the ones that I've seen, it's the best one.
Luigi Mangione should have become like a Jigsaw acolyte, you know? There should be that's a movie I would like to make. Is where like cuz he has fanboys who like join him and help him with his shit. It's like if Luigi Mangione was like, Mr. Jigsaw, big fan of your work, would love to get some of these insurance executives.
Dun 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 dun, and takes the mask off and the hoodie off at the end. And we see him shoot the CEO from a different angle on the sidewalk than we saw previously, and ride away on his bicycle into the night.
Hell yeah, man!
The only way, there's no way Jigsaw could have killed all of these insurance executives at once. He had to have someone helping him, but who?
I would like to pitch, whoever has the rights to the Saw franchise, I would like to pitch a movie where Jigsaw breaks Luigi Mangione out of jail. and they go on a crime spree killing insurance executives. Just like integrate some real life elements into this franchise. We're not just in the realm of fiction anymore, we're using real people now.
And Jigsaw's some immortal time traveling figure.
Yeah. It is funny that someone tried to break Luigi Mangione out of jail. I wish that had worked out.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, someone like tried to smuggle I think it was like someone tried to smuggle a nail file into a lasagna or something like that. It was some stereotypically Italian shit. It was they pretended to work for the FBI, I think, and they tried to like.
I got this lasagna for Luigi.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's basically how it went down. I'm not going to be doing any further research. I'm just going to allow that to be my truth.
When he got caught, he said, "Mamma mia,
mamma mia!" Oh no. The only other thing I had to say about the movie is that I like that the school that his kid goes to is called Saint Euthanasius.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's a funny joke.
I also like Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott's fun.
Yeah, Sam Elliott scene's good.
Yeah.
It's one of the scenes where the movie is a little bit more grounded and not as broad and silly, but it is one of the only scenes that takes a more grounded tone that I think works, and that tone is totally right for the movie. Because it does let his battle with like cancer, because he has cancer from smoking. He's like the old Marlboro spokesman.
Mm-hmm.
And it lets his sort of plight be real and not a joke.
Sam Elliott's playing it very straight.
Yeah, and the whole thing where it's like Aaron Eckhart convinces him to take the hush money, basically, to like stop speaking out against the tobacco industry. And that whole thing plays out in such a way where like the shot of like Aaron Eckhart looking in the rearview mirror and seeing where the briefcase of money was before he showed up, and like he looks in the rearview mirror again and the briefcase isn't there because Sam Elliott took the money. It is sort of like a pretty devastating moment emotionally where you're like, man, he is such a piece of shit, and he knows he's a piece of shit. So that whole bit works for me. And I love seeing Sam Elliott in a movie.
Yeah.
It's always great to see that guy and his mustache. He's got long hair in this one, too. He's looking pretty good. Yeah. It's also crazy how that guy's been, like, 70 for, like, 50 years.
Yeah.
He's just been old forever. Which is...
He came out the womb that way.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Westerns, Mama. I'm going to be a cowboy.
Yeah. He's going up to his mom when he's like 9 years old and be like,
Mama, I'd like to try out for the soccer team. Can you get me a Sunny D from the fridge?
Yeah, did you have anything else to say about the movie?
No.
Okay. David. That's Thank You for Smoking. Is Thank You for Smoking the greatest movie ever made?
No. I really like this movie though. I think it's quite funny. And I think it's handles the satirical elements and has some strong messaging for the most part, and then I think at the end it all feels a little weightless and doesn't quite commit. I forgot how dark it was, and it was like as pleasant, as much as I had like a good time watching this movie, it also reminds you of the horrors a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It can be a rough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
But I think it's really well directed. Like it's a strong first film for Jason Reitman. I really like Aaron Eckhart's performance. I like most of the other performances in the movie. And I feel like it's gone a little underseen, underappreciated over the years. This might be like your mileage may vary on how well the satire works for you. But it's got a lot of great scenes, and it moves at a nice pace. It's a nice little 90-minute movie. Yeah, I think it's a good film. Not the greatest movie ever made. I'm glad that I watched it again. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts. So Justice is Thank You for Smoking, the greatest movie ever made.
David. No, it is not. It's a solid no from me on this one. I didn't not enjoy this movie. I liked the movie. I didn't love it. I had some issues, some of which are the same that you had, where I think that the movie kind of walks back a little of its message towards the end in a way that isn't very satisfying and kind of feels like it's just trying to please everybody instead of taking a more assertive stance on what it is saying, which is a problem for me. Also, unlike you, I had a big problem with a couple of performances in this movie. Again, apologies to Katie Holmes and the actor who plays Aaron Eckhart's kid. Did not enjoy either of them in this movie at all. And both of them are in it quite a bit. So it was rough for me that both of those performances took so much screen time, especially the kid, where I was like, I get what's happening here. I understand how this is being deployed. It's just not working for me. So that was a pretty big stumbling block. Another thing that I didn't talk about, but I did notice watching this movie, the score for this movie kind of sucks.
I couldn't even comment on it. I don't remember it.
It's just like bland, like it feels like bland, like TV show level score, where it's like when he's like doing lobbyist stuff, there's just sort of stock like do 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 da do 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 da do do in the background, where it's like this is doing stuff music, and then anytime there's like an emotional moment, it's just kind of like do 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 do.
I know
like
what you mean.
It just feels like it's like stock shit. Like it felt really uninspired to me.
I like the soundtrack. Some of the needle drops that they have in here are like classic songs that are referencing smoking and stuff like that.
Yes.
Those are fun.
Yes, I think the soundtrack is pretty good. I think the score, the original score for the movie, is like pretty weak sauce, and it was like distracting me how much I didn't like it at points. And like I said, I just wish this movie was zanier, ultimately. Like, I think that there are moments, like the Sam Elliott scene, that it's good that they're grounded. But on the whole, I would have liked this to be bigger. I would have liked it to be broader, and I would have liked it to be sillier. Because I don't think it would have undercut the message, and it would have made it more fun to watch. So I did like it, but I had some pretty major issues with it, and it's not the greatest movie ever made.
Okay.
Yeah. So we talked ahead of the episode about what we're going to be doing next. And we have decided that March is going to be a theme month. Listeners to the show know that the way that we typically do this is we flip a coin and decide which one of us is going to be doing our theme month next month and which one has to wait until later in the year.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and do that now. I got a quarter here. I'm looking at George Washington's face right now. And David, call it. What's the most you've ever lost on a coin
I have
toss?
to know what I stand to win.
You stand to win a theme month, call it.
Tails.
David, I regret to inform you that it is heads.
Okay.
Which means, David...
What's the theme month that you came up with 5 minutes before we started the episode?
I did throw this one together. You talked about how maybe this movie was a little heavier than you would have liked to engage with right now. I got really bad news for you, my man.
Oh, no.
Because my theme month that I threw together right before the record is March Sadness. That's
a very funny name.
You've heard of March Madness. But instead, we will be watching movies.
Are these evil films?
No. It's just movies that are going to be bummers.
Great.
So for the month of March, we will be watching movies that are feel bad, bad time, downer endings, about the misery that is inherent in the human condition. So first off in March Sadness on the docket, we have Manchester by the Sea. So that's what we'll be watching next week.
Okay.
Which, have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Oh, you're in for a very sad treat. Following Manchester by the Sea, we're going to be watching the 1986 French film Jean de Florette, which is one that I've seen before, but it's been quite a while. Bad time. Just real sad. The third film on the docket in March is going to be Ordinary People. I've never seen that one, but I know by reputation that it is sad. I think it's directed by Robert Redford. Yeah, it's directed by Robert Redford from 1980. It stars Donald Sutherland, and to my understanding, is downer. And we'll be closing out the month with a movie that I have never seen, but I have heard it described as one of the saddest films of all time, which is After Sun from 2022.
Okay, I've not seen any of those movies.
Great. Going to be 4 movies that are new to David, and 2 that are new to me.
And 2 guys who historically have great mental health.
Yep.
Talking about a bunch of sad movies.
Yep. I am already regretting doing this to us. Maybe we should flip the coin again. You probably had a better theme month. I just won the coin toss.
I mean, it would have been also pretty sad, but in a different way.
Okay. Are you going to be saving that theme month for later, or are you going to abandon the idea?
I'll be saving it. I'll be keeping it in my back pocket.
Cool. Great. So yeah, I guess join us in March for a bad time. As we talk about a bunch of movies that make us feel sad.
Starting next week with Manchester by the Sea. Who directed that? Did Casey Affleck direct that?
No, it's
no,
Kenneth Lonergan. But Casey Affleck is, of course, the star of Manchester by the Sea, a movie in which does he fuck up big time, and then spends the rest of the movie paying for it.
Join us next week for that. In the meantime, please recommend the show to a friend, follow us on social media, and leave us a review and comment. And if you have a movie that you'd like to recommend to us, send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com or comment it somewhere, and hopefully we'll see it. Our Instagram is TGMEM_podcast. I forgot to mention that. And thanks for your support. Join us next week for Manchester by the Sea and the start of March Sadness. If you want, you don't have to. You could be happy.
I promise that there will still be some jokes and laughter on the episodes. Again, you have to laugh so you don't cry. But yeah, take care of yourselves.
Until next week, we love you so much. And as always,
later dipshits. We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Greatest Movie Ever Made. Please remember to leave us a rating and a review, and to subscribe to the show wherever you listen. We appreciate you supporting the show and spreading the word. Tell your friends to listen. Tell your enemies to listen. Tell your mom to listen. If your neighbor has an unsecured Bluetooth speaker, connect to it and play an episode. You can follow us on social media at TGMEM_podcast. And if you've got a movie that you want us to talk about, send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.